I have got to get a tripod stick so that I can not have to hold this up like this. So, it is currently April 1st. The script is finished. Asterisk on the word finished. There is a lot of restructuring of the way the script is, how do you say it? Como se dice? How it looks on the paper, right? A lot of really thick paragraphs that I feel like could be broken up into smaller paragraphs or smaller sections just so it's easier to read in the format and to get any grammatical errors out that may be present in the script. Boom. But that all 29 pages of the actual story itself, done, complete. And I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the progress of it. Now, where we go from here is how do we move forward into pre-production, right? I have a decent idea of who my cast is. There are probably 3 people that have question marks on all of their roles. Maybe like 3.5 actually. Just because of the nature of one role and the nature of the person that I have for the role. So we might have to switch that up a little bit. But I just thought about somebody that I'm like, he could work, but at the same time, I'd have to do something pretty drastic. But whatever, right? I want to find somewhere to like actually sit down and record this. I'm gonna bring a tripod next time. Basically, right? Now, as I'm re-going through the script, page 1 to page 29, I'm gonna be doing all those editorial corrections, but also scenes and specific things that are happening in that, figuring out the logistics of how does that happen in the scene. And what I mean by how that happens is, say for instance, in the one scene where they're in the photography studio, the main character works with a group of photographers and videographers with like a freelance marketing agency / content creation company. Think Matt Johnson, the photographer, meets Justin Porter, the filmmaker, but jack of all trades filmmaking, you know? How does that work? And I know that part of what I want to do is have some authenticity when it comes to the nature of the film. Filmmakers, and I've noticed this as of recent, right? People will add different details to different scripts depending on the type of person that they are. My script in particular has it where there are details in there written the way that they're written, where if you're a photographer or a photo person in any shape, form, or fashion, you're going to recognize those types of details, right? Just words like viewfinder or the idea of the turning of the barrel, the concept of film and whatnot, and just generally just things and habits that I do when I'm doing my own shoots, right? When I'm out in my shoots, like there's a very small moment in a scene during Act 2, towards the end of Act 2, where my main protagonist looks at his best. He takes a couple of photos. He looks over the photos. He's got a clean one. Blah blah blah. He looks up. Scans the room. Looks at his best friend. Reese is taking a video of something. He finishes his video. He feels the awareness of someone looking at him and looks up. They lock eyes. There's a quick nod and a hand signal or whatever. That's basically like, hey, bro, you okay? And he's basically confirms, like, oh yeah, I'm good. Like, it's just a confirmation that it's like, hey, bro, like, your footage good? Like, do you need a battery change? Like, is everything copacetic? Communication, right? That's something I do when I'm working with other shooters, beyond just myself, just working by myself, right? So it's like stuff like that is what I'm working on in the script and whatnot, and figuring that all out. And within the next 7 days, the script will be done, and I'm going to be moving forward towards getting the script sent out to whomever, rather for film funding type action, right? I know I need the script and I need a budgetary thing. But again, the next 7 days is not just finalizing the editorial and the flow of the script and whatnot, but also getting a rough rudimentary estimate of a budget together as well too. So I was thinking about doing it next Monday, but I might do it even sooner than that. I might even do it, if I did it this weekend, I might as well wait till Monday, because a lot of those places, especially like the city hall or something like that, might be shut down. I need to start inquiring about the locations that I have in mind for things. Like, do I need a permit? Can I get a permit? Is there a permit available? How much does the permit cost? Is it, because here's the thing, filming on the streets isn't technically illegal, right? But film permits granted where I'm going to have permits and all the paperwork in order. You know what? Matter of fact, let me not act like I know exactly what a film permit does. What the hell does a film permit do? You know what I'm saying? Does it just stop the cops if they happen to see me with my big ass camera and my film crew and everything? And they're like, hey, what are you kids doing over here in this street corner? And we're like, oh, we're making a short film. It's like, do you have a permit for that? And it's like, yeah, right here, officer. Matter of fact, let me show you something real quick. Like, yeah, like, can that help with that situation? There's a few scenes that are outside, but I have a good 60 to 40%, a good 60 to 70% of the film is like indoors. So good 60, 40, 70, 30 split. Not super lean, but also not super fat, in my personal opinion, right? It could be much worse. And I'm going to utilize natural lighting with a little bit of accent and practicals as well too. But focusing on composition, getting a shot list together. Actually, you know what? I might even hold off on the shot list just to put other things forward, like getting the budget together. The budget is going to be the most important thing. How much money do I need to actually pull this off, right? How long is this going to take to pull off, right? Actually, you know what? I have to put together the shot list. I just remembered that. I remember researching this, and you have to put together the shot list, because if you don't put together your shot list and figure out the order and figure out how long roughly shots are going to take to do, you can't get an estimation about how many days you're going to need to shoot, right? If each scene has 3 shots in it and there's 45 scenes, you're looking at what, 135 shots. If each shot takes 5 minutes, now you need to multiply that to like what, 535 times 5, 70, 140, 175, 675 minutes. So however many hours that is, which is like, it's like roughly like 6 hours and some change, like 6 hours, 45 minutes. So you need to figure out how long would it take for me to record 6 hours of the content, right? That's the actual recording length. How long does it take to set up and break down and do all that stuff? Are we looking at 3 or 4 days worth of filming, right? Are we looking at multiple days worth of filming? Because sure, we could have got 4 hours worth of filming done today, but we're at a specific place that we need to film at, that it would take another 2 hours to break down, go to the next location in the same day, set up again and do it again, when we could just break it up and do it the next day. Like, you got to remember that you're not just thinking about time, you're thinking about energy as well too. What is the cast going to feel like doing that? This is a pretty much brand new cast. All of these guys are super new to the realm of everything, including myself, right? So I'm not dealing with a veteran cast that's used to 10, 12-hour days on a film set. That's what I'm not doing. So I need to be working within a 4 to 5 hour radius of time frame. Like, I remember that. I remember when I did my first short film project 3 years ago now. And when we did that project, we were shooting from roughly about maybe 4 or maybe like 5 p.m., give or take, till about 11:30, 12 at night. And then we would pack up and be at the door between 12 and 1 a.m. That was roughly a 6 to 7 hour shoot. And we were exhausted, right? We were doing it on the weekends and stuff. I was still in school doing stuff like that. So it was some stuff going on, to say the least, right? Where's we go with this? So this week, the next 7 days of what I'm going to be doing is editing the script, getting a rough idea of the shot list together. I'm going to do a brainstorming session and bring in my collaborators, my inner circle in on the project. Now the script is finished, start compiling a shot list for the movie itself, working on the shot list, working on the budget, working on where we would like places to go, and then start making inquiries. We have to start making inquiries to City Hall, the specific locations of places, finding locations of places and whatnot, figuring out all the gear we need to make the shots happen the way that we're envisioning it, right? Figuring out how much time it's actually going to take to put together this project, because I need to figure out, right? I know I want a super small crew. I want a crew of about 7 people maximum. Myself in the director's chair, somebody on camera ops, a first AD to help and assist with camera ops, a BTS photographer, maybe even merging first AD and BTS together. I might do that as well too. Yeah, let's merge that. A first AD and a BTS photographer, my camera operator, me in the director's seat, a script supervisor, an assistant producer who's there simply, you know what? Assistant producer and script supervisor, merge those 2 roles together, and their job is continuity, understanding the story, understanding what's happening with the story and whatnot, and where we are with it, so that everything fits the way it should. But also, hey, keep track of that clock. What time is it? When do we have to do things? What, blah, 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 X, Y, and Z. Breaking for lunch, keeping in contact with, like, if a situation happened, right? I always have to have I always ask this question when I'm doing events, especially major things like a wedding or something like that, where I know that the person that hired me specifically, the bride, the groom, whoever it may be, is gonna be unavailable. I'm like, yo, who's my contact person? Who's my point of contact? Who's your second in command? Who's responsible for relaying messages, putting out small fires, dealing with issues and problems? Because this is your moment. You need to be in the best shape of mind for whatever it is that you're doing. And I need to make sure, but if something goes wrong, I don't need to throw you off your game. But I do need a solution to the problem. Who's my point of contact? That's what I need. I need an assistant producer and a script supervisor. Low-key, separate the roles. Script supervisor for continuity of the actual story and the creative process. Like a script supervisor / creative advisor. Someone that knows the story as in and out as they possibly can, outside of myself, right? And then the, what's it called? Script supervisor, and then assistant producer, who's all about management, time. If caterers or actors or something like that is having something going on, call the AP. Call the AP. They'll relay the message to me, because they're keeping that in mind, so that my sole focus is on what does the camera frame look like, what scene are we on, what's the vision, right? And getting that all done in the moment with my actors as that's all happening. So AP, script supervisor, a first AD, so assistant director, assistant producer. So assistant director, assistant producer, script supervisor, camera operator, or a camera operator / DP, and me in the director's seat. That's 5 people. No, I don't need audio people because my film is a silent film. I might need an audio person one time at the very end of the film. Matter of fact, I think I might bring a camera, a audio person on, and just have that be my second AD. So first and second AD, my first AD's job is BTS and to assist the camera operator in any shape, form, or fashion, and camera ops. But then my second AD, his job is sound. He or she needs to know everything about what's going on with the microphones, listening to the sound itself. It's not super important, but it is at the exact same time really important, because I would like to be able to double back and use this footage to implement into Kofi when I do that film. Also, I'm actually thinking about it. I'm thinking about it about doubling back in the same breath to do Kofi. Would it make sense to do that? Would it make sense to adjust the budget and figure out how to make Kofi happen? But here's the thing. I haven't written Kofi at all. Kofi hasn't been written. So that movie, you know what? As much as I love that idea, it's only if, here's what I'll say. Only if the idea just comes to me, right? Because I have hyperfixations where the nature of a project in particular, like right now it's Narnia, right? And the idea of Narnia and that whole concept. 2 weeks ago, it was Power Rangers. And before that, for about a month, 2 months, it was Transformers. Like, when I tell you my mind was eat, sleep, breathing Transformers, I am not joking in any shape, form, or fashion. I'll say this much. If it comes to me, I will write the script for Kofi, right? If it comes to me and I feel the urge take over me, I will write the script for Kofi. I will put in that effort. I will get the whole thing penned out and done and rush the process to get that film up and moving. Where maybe they're not filmed back to back in the same month, but maybe if we film Cakis in June, I'm doubling back with the same actors to film Kofi in August, right? That could work. I could see that working. But that's a lot. That's a lot to do. Like trying to go from 0 to 100 to 200 now is kind of crazy. So I'm not going to promise that that's going to happen. I would love for that to happen. I would love for it to be that I could say that, yeah, like my first short film project, we filmed 2 short films back to back. I originally had one idea and I wanted to expand out. So I made a sequel and made that film, and I had everything filmed and everything, and I just never finished it, right? I waited about a year, put it through its pace, put the first film through its paces, and then dropped the sequel about a year later. That would be so great to do, right? But is it practical, budgetary-wise, time-wise, energy-wise, to do that? Is it practical to do all that? I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know for certain whether or not the answer is yes or no. I don't think so. Every piece of logic in my head tells me no. So what else? Working on the budget for everything, trying to get that all settled up so that, why does it look like there used to be a restaurant? Why does it look like from this far away that my library used to be a restaurant? Why does it feel like that? Huh. That's interesting.
Hey, you wanted this, right?
I know. I'm on my run.
Run, go ahead. No one's stopping you.
Okay. But yeah, the film is in pre-production. We were in development. I was working on the script. You know what? Yeah, we're in pre-production. We're working on the budget, working on assembling things, getting all that done, getting the funding for everything done. Would funding be part of development? Like, are we out of pre-production? Are we out of pre-production yet? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out when I have to relay this type of stuff to somebody else. I'm very excited because finally the script is the hardest part, because it means that I have to pour out my soul onto paper, make it make sense, and I can do that. I know how to take other people's ideas and start formulating a plan, filling in the gaps of the stories that may not make sense immediately. I know how to be like, oh, if you want to do this, bro, we should consider going to West Aurora and shooting here and doing this. Or, you know what? If we could put like a budget towards proper, like 500, we could go on Amazon and order this sword and this helmet and this thing, do a little medieval cosplay type situation. Like, my mind is there for all that type of stuff. And now, for the first time, I get to apply that to my own work. But I had to get the script done. Nothing was going to happen without that damn script. And finally, it's done. Like, again, needs a lot of editing work. The format needs to get changed up a little bit. Some words need to get auto-corrected. But it's done. Like, put it like this. I can't see right now how I would add another scene to this movie. There's not one scene I would add to this movie. All of the scene work is done. And I'm proud of that. I'm happy about that. I cannot wait. Now we take a step into the realm of marketing. This is a 22 minute video. Now we get to talk about the marketing part, because I'm 22 years old. This is my first film project that I've ever done. And I'm absolutely going to need some help. I'm going to need some help regarding the actual production. I'm going to need some help regarding just every aspect of the film. I need people to hold lights. I need people to do audio work. I need people to edit it. I absolutely need a color correction editor. Like, I need someone that understands After Effects like their life depends on it. Okay? And I'm looking to collaborate with all of the people here in Chicago. There's a lot of really creative people in Chicago. I know at least a dozen off the top of my head, people that are skilled with the camera, people that are skilled with audio and with editing and things like that. And I need to figure out how I'm going to do this in a fair but budget-friendly way. Because even if I manage to get this funding, even if I manage to get funding, I need to make that known too. Like, how do I figure that out? How do I figure out, like, can I do outside funding, right? Like, I know I can, right? Actually, you know what? I already know I can. Because two things came to mind, and I've already solved both of those things, which is I wanted a score to be done by Jake. I'm still going to reach out and ask, but that might cause issues because of the nature of it, because money, the money and all that. But then also on top of that, I wanted to put the film into film festivals. Originally, I wanted to put it into film festivals. And I'm probably not going to do that. Film festivals don't like films over like 10 minutes last time I checked. Sometimes even 5 minutes. And this script is 30 pages long. We're looking at like a 25 to 30 minute short film. And I'm fine with that. If anything, I might recontextualize and shoot the film in a way, shoot scenes in a way where this can get cut down into a 5-minute supercut version of the movie with a lot of missing pieces, but still a edit of some sort that I could present as short films. That I would do. But yeah, no. I think that's it. Guys.